I always believed there was a kind of peace in routine. My wife, Madison, and I had been married for 6 years, and while the spark may not have burned as wildly as it once did, I thought we'd built something solid. Our days were filled with shared coffee in the mornings, the occasional Friday night movie, and conversations about house renovations or vacations we never seemed to take. Madison worked in corporate marketing, a position that demanded a good deal of travel. I never minded it. If anything, I admired her ambition. She was sharp, confident, and charismatic, traits that made her invaluable at work and, admittedly, irresistible to most people she encountered. The week she left for her Denver conference, everything felt normal. She kissed me goodbye in her usual hurry, promising to text when she landed. She did, and for the next 2 days, things continued like clockwork. Good morning texts, a quick call before bed, snippets of hotel room complaints or exhausting meetings. Nothing out of the ordinary until that Thursday night. I hadn't heard from her all evening. No reply to my "how's your day going" message, no check-in after dinner. At first, I rationalized. Maybe she was stuck in a late-night workshop. Maybe she just fell asleep. I didn't want to be the paranoid husband. Friday morning came, and I still hadn't heard a word. That gnawing unease started creeping in, the kind that makes your stomach feel like it's shrinking from the inside. I called twice, no answer. By noon, she finally texted, "Sorry babe, long night. I'll call you after lunch." Her voice was calm when she finally called, but too calm. Like it had been rehearsed. She told me about a team dinner that ran late, about drinks afterward at the hotel bar, about how tired she was. But something didn't sit right. I couldn't place it then, but I would soon. She came home Sunday evening. There was a glow about her, subtle, but there. Her smile lingered a little longer, but her kisses felt lighter. I chalked it up to jet lag and tried not to think too much about it. We ordered takeout and watched TV, but I caught her spacing out more than once. Over the next few weeks, the changes became clearer. She guarded her phone more, turned it face down on tables, and started working late again, despite no pressing deadlines. I wanted to trust her. I really did. One night, about a month after her trip, she left her laptop open while she went to take a shower. The screen went dark, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened it and saw her email client still active. Most of it was work-related, until I noticed a thread labeled "Conference Recap Private." I shouldn't have read it. I know that. But I did. And within minutes, my world unraveled. The thread wasn't about any conference. It was about her and Cole, a senior strategist from another regional office. It started innocently. Flirty banter during the conference, inside jokes about boring presentations. But then the emails turned late-night confessional. Then suggestive. Then explicit. There was one that hit like a hammer to the chest. "Last night was incredible. I haven't felt that alive in a long time." She talked about how it started over a few drinks, how they ended up in his room, how guilty she felt but how she couldn't stop. I scrolled through the messages, each one another blow. She wasn't just unfaithful. She was emotionally connected to him. I felt the air leave my lungs. When she stepped out of the shower, towel wrapped around her and humming some nameless tune, I looked at her and didn't recognize the woman in front of me. I didn't say anything. Not that night. Not the next day either. I needed time to process what I had found. I started watching. Quietly. I noted her late nights, the sudden gym session she never used to care about, the way she'd smile at her phone. And then I saw it for myself. One rainy Tuesday, I followed her from work. She said she was heading to a client dinner, but instead, she met him, Cole. I watched from my car as they embraced in front of a dimly lit restaurant, the kind of embrace you give someone you long for, not someone you work with. She kissed him. Not a quick peck. A kiss that lingered. I didn't go home that night. I drove for hours instead, letting the storm outside mirror the one inside me. The night I saw Madison kiss Cole, something broke in me. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the clarity. The months of second-guessing myself, the subtle shifts in her affection, the way she turned into someone I no longer recognized, all of it finally crystallized into a single, cold truth: she had checked out of our marriage long before that business trip. I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. There was too much fury boiling beneath the surface, and I was afraid of what I might say, or worse, what I might do. So I waited. I needed to be sure, not just emotionally, but practically. That weekend, while she was out with friends, or so she claimed, I started gathering evidence. The emails I had already seen. I downloaded the thread and saved copies on a flash drive. Then I checked our shared phone account. Multiple late-night calls to a number I didn't recognize. I ran a reverse lookup. It was him. She wasn't even hiding it well anymore. I hired a private investigator, something I never thought I'd do. Within a week, he had photos: Madison and Cole holding hands outside a downtown hotel, his hand resting on her lower back, the same blue dress she wore on our anniversary, now worn for him. Our 5th wedding anniversary. She spent it with him. I had made dinner reservations that night, brought her flowers, wrote her a card. She said she was exhausted from work and just wanted to stay in. She smiled when she read my card, even kissed my cheek. She had already spent the afternoon in his hotel room. By the second week, I had enough. I scheduled a meeting with a lawyer, nothing dramatic, just quiet and clinical. My state didn't require a reason, but the lawyer said the evidence could be useful for negotiations. When I showed him the emails, the call logs, the photos, he gave me a long look and said, "You've already done the hard part." Maybe so. But the hardest part was yet to come. I didn't want to blindside her. I thought, foolishly, that I could still preserve some form of dignity, for both of us. I asked her to meet me at our favorite cafe, neutral ground, quiet, no dramatic exits or shouting matches. She arrived 5 minutes late, phone in hand, typing something, and smiling to herself. When she saw me, her expression shifted to something more careful. Cautious. "Hey," she said, sliding into the seat across from me. "This is unexpected." "I know," I replied. "But we need to talk." I handed her an envelope. She opened it slowly, brows knitting as she read through the printed emails, then the call logs, then the photos. Her face went pale. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. "Cole?" I said, quietly. "The hotel on Tremont Street. The night you told me you had to work late. Our anniversary." Her mouth opened again. "Don't," I said, holding up a hand. "I know. All of it." A long silence passed between us. The cafe noise faded, like background static. Finally, she whispered, "I never meant to hurt you." I laughed. I couldn't help it. It was a dry, humorless sound, but it came out anyway. "You didn't mean to hurt me?" I repeated. "Madison, you didn't just cheat on me. You erased me. Replaced me. Lied to my face for months." Her eyes were red now, glossed over. "It started as nothing. Just company at the conference. We talked. We drank. And I felt like I was finally being seen again." "And I didn't see you?" I said, incredulous. "I've been right here. I've always been right here, trying to keep this together while you drifted." "I know," she said, voice cracking. "And I hate myself for it." I stared at her for a long time. I wanted to feel something. Rage, sorrow, satisfaction. But I just felt done. "I'm filing for divorce," I said. "You'll get the paperwork soon." She nodded slowly, tears streaking her cheeks. "Do you hate me?" I considered the question. "No," I said. "I loved you too much to hate you. But I don't think I'll ever forgive you." She tried to reach for my hand, but I stood up before she could touch me. As I walked out of the cafe, the sun had just started to set. The air was crisp. For the first time in months, I felt something close to peace, not because the pain was gone, but because I finally knew where I stood. Madison and I had built a life together. But she chose to burn it down. And now, all I could do was walk away from the ashes.